am back. Sorry about that. I had some errands to run, but I am back. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. Hi. So, this morning, the glue factory was giving us a hard time, and I might know why. I've got a lowercase s in here instead of an uppercase s. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, but we are going to delete this. We are going to let's come back here. Let's rename this with an uppercase S. Let's zip it back up, and if that still throws an error, we're going to completely rename this factory. It's the only other way I know of to fix it. So let's copy that. Let's throw it in the mods folder. Let's jump back in game. And we will see if this is still throwing the 110 errors or not. So, glue factory. Let's see if the glue factory wants to work this time. Then next on the list is the evaporator. We get the glue factory running. Evaporator shouldn't be that hard to convert over either. Oh, and we're back to being nighttime. All right, so let's just get over here to where I want to plop this factory down. Yeah, somewhere over here. Let me grab a little bit of speed. I want to drop this down and see if it's going to throw an error. And then if there's no error, I'll crank over to the daylight, and we'll test this factory. But I want to see if it's going to keep throwing this 110 error. Let's plop you down here. And look at that. No 110 error because of the lowercase s instead of an uppercase s. Alright, so we can do this. Let me just make sure there's no other errors in the log, and then I'll roll till it gets daylight. And we will test this factory. Yeah, no other errors in the log with the factory. Alright, so let's give this a, let me go get us back to daylight. So y'all can see. Alright, that'll work. Let's go back down to 1 speed. So what do we need? Water coal. So let's grab, oh, wrong way. I know I've got I gotta get rid of some of these vehicles I'm not using. You. So let's grab you first. Let's grab some coal. Alright, let's grab some coal. Farm chick, I figured out what it was. I had a lowercase s instead of an uppercase s in the file name. So as soon as I changed it from lowercase to uppercase, all my errors went away. So let's throw what we need in here, make sure the glue factory works, and then we can take this one off the list and we can move on. The next one I have on the list is the evaporator. So let me park this guy and grab my tanker. And then tomorrow, I think we're going to start with orchards or greenhouses. They're going to be really time consuming, so I want to get them off the list. Alright, so let's sneak in here. Alright, so we need, first up should be like water, so let's throw some of that in there. And then resin and raw rubber. Let's throw a load of resin in. And that should fire it up, yeah. So I got fire, we got smoke. And let's find some raw rubber. There we go. Alright, now, oh look at that, it's right here by the truck. And it is active, so that's cool. So let me get a little bit of time. We don't need much. All right, let's back in the truck. Now, where did I put the pickup trigger? Over here somewhere. Oh, I gotta move that. That's not where it should be now. Oh, so there we go. We got glue, and the trigger works. So, glue factory. The only thing I want to do is I want to move this guy because we're not doing sewage. So I just want to delete that. And I think this is good to go. So we have smoke at the generator. We've got smoke and fire at the chimney. And all the signs look good. Nothing's floating. Alright, let's call this one done. We'll check the log, make sure there's no errors. I'm going to make that one quick adjustment. Well, I want to make two adjustments. There's one thing I forgot on our factory from earlier. I want to go back and then readjust. So let me come in here. We'll check the log first, make sure that nothing new popped in here. And it didn't. So we're good with the factory. So let me delete out all these open files I don't need. Let's come back in here. And we throw this down just so we can see. I'm going to slide this over here. And we'll just pick the glue up over here with it. Alright, that'll work. Which way do I want the camera facing? Let me come over here and spin this back around. Alright, so let's delete that. Let's give this a save. I'm going to delete this, and we're going to zip this back up. And I'm going to copy it. I'm going to throw it back in my mods folder so I have the most recent one in here. Yeah, and the FS19 I had a lowercase s, so that's why I couldn't get it working earlier today, because the files couldn't talk to each other. So something that simple made me all messed up this morning. All right, I want to go back into the textile mill for a minute. And I want to come back in here. So I noticed that so we have plastic's good, crate's good, water is good, diesel, yeah, we don't need 500,000 liters of diesel. We only need 50,000 liters of diesel. so let me save that. Let's delete this, zip this back up. And I can call, copy that, overwrite the one in here. Now we can call the textile mill done. So the next one I had on my list was the evaporator. And let's see what textures and stuff are messed up. Yeah, so my shader's still messed up. And I got to fix the path to the particle system. So new buildings, let's copy this one, take it back a level to here. And then that can get deleted. So there's my shader. So we can fix that. And then the other thing we have, the only thing we have to fix now is our smoke. So let's delete that. And I like taking the one out of the glass factory because I know it's perfect and it works well. So we're going to grab the smoke out of there. And let's export it into, crap, what are we working on? Evaporator. So smoke. Alright, so that takes care of the particle systems. So I can fix this one. And then we can fix this one. And then I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom. I want to make sure my user attribute's out, and it is. So we are good there. So let me save this and close this. Now when we open this one up, there shouldn't be any texture errors. And there's not. So let's grab, let's create a plane to work on. And then let's take this and zero this out so we know it's perfectly center. And why are you not perfectly center? My evaporator is built off center. It's not going to hurt anything because we can move it, but it's built off center. Okay, something's definitely wrong. Alright, hold on. Oh, you're 0. There we go. So all zeros there. All zeros there. Why is the evaporator under the... Okay, that's just weird. I've never had the evaporator sit below the map surface before. I'm really hoping this is going to work and I don't end up like completely rebuilding it. Find pick a spot so I can get it sitting exactly on the ground. It's got to go. Now my triggers are too low, so let's try and raise it this way. Let's go to 123. All right, let's go the other way, 125. What is going on with... Let's go 58. There we go. Yeah, it's like the factory was built below zero, which it's never built below zero. So I don't know what's going on with this factory. But we'll see what kind of mess we have once we get in here. Alright, so this one is simple. This one is, we are adding coal and salt water to get sea salt. So this one should be really, really quick. Now, question is, do I want to make it any smaller? Or do I want to completely rebuild it so it's not below zero? Let's build it the way it is, and if we have trouble with it, then we're going to have to completely rebuild it. So I'm not going to make it any smaller. Let's just make it, let's just narrow it down so it's the size I need. And then if I have to rebuild the entire factory, we'll rebuild the entire factory. Let's see if this is going to work first. Usually when I try and take a shortcut, it comes back to bite me in the butt. But alright, so you got to go a little bit longer yet. Alright, so there's our dimensions where our factory's going to be. Let's do a quick save. Now I need my four corners and I need my icon, so I'm going to import the either Leatherworks or Old Man's Mill back in. Either one will work. So let's bring Old Man's Mill back in. I want to grab our tour icon. And I want to grab my clear area. Now we can delete Old Man's Mill back out. Alright, so where is the player trigger? The player trigger is there. It can stay there. So let's move our tour icon over here. I don't like how this whole thing is even acting. So where the player trigger is, no, so let me just pull it back a little bit. Alright, so there's our player trigger, our start. Yeah, there's something wrong. Hold on, we're gonna start over. Hold on, I'm gonna get out of here. Let's not save this. If this evaporator is not at 000 for some reason, I want to go in and look at something. My plane is, this is like way off the ground. Alright, hold on. I want to, no, I had the glue factory. Alright, we're going to do something here real quick. Glue factory's done. Let's delete this. I am going to actually delete, we're going to delete the evaporator completely and start over. So I am going to go into, let me just close that. I'm going to go into I pulled it out of the Ridgeville map. I'm going to actually go in this time. I'm going to pull it out of the Hollow map. Let's open up Ridgie's Hollow. Because for some reason the factory wasn't like at ground level, it was like way up in the air. I don't want to spend an hour making this factory and have it not spawn into the game. We're going to have to go back in and fix the files. But anyway, let's pull it out of here. Let's go global company. I want to go find the evaporator. Right here. Let's go file, export selection with files. Now I'm not going to put it in the placeable mod folder that I've been working on. I'm going to put it in a temporary folder on my desktop. So let's pull that out of the map. I'm going to close the placeable mod folder that we've been working on. I'm going to work off of this temporary folder for now. So I'm going to go in here and we're going to have to fix all the texture files. So we have to open this up. Let's grab textures and let's paste them into here, and then this can get deleted. This just gets renamed textures, and then these get renamed textures. And then we'll fix the shaders and the particle systems in a minute. I just want to see if this is actually going to even open without crashing. And it is. Alright, so now let's take you to 0, 0, and 0. Let's do a quick save. Now if I bring in a plane, are you going to be... No, you're still offset. It's like this whole factory is offset for some reason. I'm going to end up rebuilding this factory piece by piece. All right. Is there anything in here I don't need? Let's get rid of the smoke and the fire, and we can bring them back in. Let me save this. And close it. And then I want to check. This is the simplest factory. It should have taken literally like 10 minutes to build, and it's going to give me the hard time. Alright, so there's our evaporator. The only thing we have to fix is the shader. So throw you there. That can get deleted. Let us take you to there. Alright, now I'm going to export this into my placeables folder. So let's go documents, nope, desktop, placeable mods, evaporator. All right, close our temporary file. So let's work out of here. The only thing I want to do is I need to go back in here and I need to delete these user attributes because it was running off the map file. Now let's open this back up. We are going to create a plane. Our plane is going to be Now, I know my plane is centered, but my factory for some reason is not centered. I'm going to work off of the plane. And we are going to pretty much just rebuild this entire file. I want to see something first. So I'm going to create a transform group. I'm going to call it new. And I actually want to see if these buildings will come over. So let's go edit, cut, and paste. And it's still below the map. Why is it coming in below the map? Alright, we're really going to have to rebuild this piece by piece now. Alright, so let's go here. Let's go edit. Let's bring it up here. And now it's at the right height. We're literally going to have to rebuild this entire factory piece by piece, which means I can change it up a little bit. So let's offset it this way. Let's bring in one of these. I want to actually swap this building so it's the opposite way. Alright, hold on, I want to try something. Yeah, this is going to be a long process. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to rebuild this component by component. Let's grab these guys. So this whole silo, I want to flip this way to 0. I want to bring it over on this side of the building, but I want to bring this guy over this way. And then let's take the silo. Which one is it? Are you not even... Let's bring you in like so. And is there room to drive a truck in there? There is. Yeah, I honestly don't like how this entire factory is acting, but we're going to try and rebuild it. And by rebuilding, I can also make it a little bit smaller. Alright, so you're going to go there. Okay, so you're in that transform group. Alright, so now let's take our liquid manure pit. Let's put it on this side. Yeah, I'm going to like this better anyway. Let's bring you up like so and back. Alright, so the second one I'm not going to need, so let's delete that. Alright, so there's our main, there's that one. Now we have our water tower that we're going to deliver water to, so let's go edit. Let's bring you up here. Like that. Now our water cooling. Actually, I don't even need this, so let's delete that. gasifier. We're going to bring back over here. So edit. Yeah, we're going to bring this back over here. Let's go something like this. That'll work. Alright, so what's under that? So our warning stripes can go here. And they're not even at 0. Wow, this thing is like all messed up. So that's going to be our warning stripes, and let's grab our power pole. So we're going to need a light over here to drop off our salt water. So let's put that there. All right, so that takes care of that transform group. Let's grab our in. Let's bring them down here. That has to get moved up, so that has to be on top. So our exact fill route 1, let's go edit. You were this one. Alright, so you are our coal. So let's bring you in here. Let's throw you in here. And you're still too big. Yeah, there's something really messed up with this factory. It didn't export out of the map right. But I'm hoping we can rebuild it and make it work. Alright, so you're going to be for our coal. Alright, now our second trigger is going to be for our water. Oh, they were the other way. Alright, so trigger, let me reverse those because, oh, I can change it in the XML, it don't matter. So let's bring this one here. And this one will be for our salt water. So that takes care of our in. Let's grab our out. And I'm going to move it up one. So our loading station, we're going to pick up our sea salt over here. And it's messed up. If this factory works when we get it in game, it's going to be a miracle. Alright, let's make you invisible so I can get you adjusted properly. Alright, so this whole thing has to come, right? Yeah, the whole thing has to come up and over. So we're centered under here. Something like that. Now we can take this and turn it back visible. Alright, so there's where we should pick up our, so those are taken care of. Let's bring our planes in. And alright, water 2 I can delete because we deleted the second pole. Water 1 needs to come over here, and we've got to get it adjusted now. get this back in place. Alright, so there's our water. Alright, that'll work. Now rock salt. These things are a royal pain in the butt to get into place. So edit. Alright, let's try and get you centered in the tube. I like to try and look straight down because it's the easiest way to adjust them. Oh, wrong one. So you over a little bit. Something like that. How does it look? Alright, so that one looks pretty good. So what I usually do is I usually take the second one. I take my coordinates from the first one. I think it's Shift and C. And we take our second one and I go, I think it's Shift and V. It does. It pops it right into place. Now we're just going to slide it over. And then we take our next one, like we take this one, and I go Shift and C to copy. And then this one, I'm going to go Shift and V, and it puts it right there. So we just slide it over. Try and get it centered. Close. We are close. Now we'll take this one, and again I'll go Shift and C. Take our fourth one. I'll go Shift and V. And we will slide it into place. So there's our, that is our sea salt in place. Alright, so our planes are done. What's next? Power system. So we got to bring our smoke and our fire back in. So let's go edit, cut, and paste. So let's go, nope, we got to fix something first. So now let's go here and create a new folder. For particle systems. Let me give this a quick save and minimize. I got to open the glass factory back up. And we're going to go into particle systems. We're going to bring the fire and the smoke over. So file, export, evaporator, particle systems, fire. And now let's bring our smoke over. So file, export, smoke. Alright, and I close that. So now we can bring in our fire and our smoke. So let's go edit, no, file, import, evaporator, fire. Cut it from there, paste it into there. Plop it up here. Now I'm not going to make it any bigger. We're just going to put it here. And then we're going to bring in our smoke. So let's go edit, cut, and paste. And that has to get renamed smoke 2. So let's go edit. And then this guy we can make a little bit bigger. So a little bit of smoke there. Let's go over here. So let's take smoke 2. Let me duplicate that. We'll call it smoke 3. So now let's go here. Let's turn it this way. Make it a little bit smaller. So we'll have some smoke coming out of that vent. Oh, here, this will work. So let's come over here and let's duplicate that and we'll call it smoke 4. And we'll throw it over here and then we'll spin it around. So we'll have some smoke coming out of that vent as well. Alright, so that's our particle systems done. What's next? Lighting. Alright, let's cut it out of there. We'll paste it into here. And of course, none of our lights came back into place. So we're going to put them back in one at a time. So the first one I want under here, so we can see to drop off our coal at night. So let's spin you. And we'll put you something like that. And then the second one is over here so we can see to pick up our salt at night. Alright, so that'll work. So we got those two in, so let's start with the rest of these. We'll get one over here on the pole. So we can see to drop off our water. Alright, so that's that one. Now the rest of these are just purely like decorative. Alright, so let's get the first one over here. And let's grab another one. Throw it over here. Minus 90, we'll get it square. Alright, so that's that one. So that should be enough light on that side of the building. Let's throw one over here. Yeah, I was really hoping for an easy convert, but apparently it didn't turn out that way. Alright, so that's one's good there. We got this one. We'll throw it over here somewhere. And then we got one more. Where do we need one more light? If I don't need it, we can delete it. Let's bring it up here. So let's turn you. And put you like here. Alright, so that should be enough lighting. So our lighting is done. So what do we have next? We have our audio. And it can go like right there. camera. Oh, because I'm using it, it's not going to let me, so let's create a new camera. We'll call it test. We have to switch our camera view. Now I can move the other camera. And then that one needs to be looking at the factory. So let's come over here. And let's go, actually I can switch back to that camera now. So let's go view camera, GIU camera, and then with this test one I can delete now. So that gets our camera back to where we need it. And then the last thing is the player trigger. So there's our player trigger. So that can now get deleted, and then this can go move down. So that puts our factory on top. Now I don't think there's anything else weird and under the map. No, so we're good. So our factory is now back to being level. So now we can take our plane down to the width we need it. And this will define the dimensions of our factory. So you look good that direction. Let's make it a little bit smaller this direction. And I can even take it a little bit more narrow. Alright, so that looks good. So this is going to be our factory. There's a couple more things we have to add. So let's give this a save. Let's import, don't matter, Leatherworks in. So we have to steal the tour icon, and we have to steal our clear area. And then we can delete that back out. So our player trigger, let's bring our player trigger over this way. And then, so the tour icon can come over this way. Alright, so there's our icon, there's our global company menu. So we have all of our in, we have our out is fixed, our main is fixed. Planes are fixed, particle systems fixed. Okay, so everything in the factory is fixed. So let's do a quick save, and we're going to close, because I'm going to be missing some textures. We're missing the icons. That's an easy fix. So textures, any of the factories I can grab it from. So let's come in here to our textures, and I need these two brought over to here. So now we can fix this one. And then we can fix this one. Alright, so that is our factory built. Or rebuilt, I should say. And no texture errors. So there's our factory rebuilt. So now, let's grab something simple, because I have 2 inputs and 1 output, which is perfect. We can go back here now. Let's go to the leather factory. Let's go to Leatherworks. Let's pull everything we need out of here. Let's copy these over to here. So now we're going to have to make a new store icon for the evaporator. So let me just start with a white background so we have a clean slate to work from. Now I don't even have a logo for the evaporator because it has no signs. So we are going to have to go to, let's open this up. Let's go to Google Images. I don't even know what to go. Evaporator clip art, just to start somewhere. And we need something for an evaporator. Alright, let's go to evaporator company logos and see what that pulls up. Oh, here we go. Not a lot, but let's work with that one's kind of small. Are they all that small? They are all that small. Alright, let's just grab the green one. Let's go copy and paste it into new image. Let's see if we can make it a little bit bigger. That'll work. Let's grab the green. That'll work. So let's save that. And that'll be our store icon. So let me close Google Images. Alright, so that'll be our store icon. So that's done. Now, let's go to our mod description. And it is no longer Leatherworks. We are now the evaporator, and it's going to make sea salt. Our XML we're going to name evaporator. And there are no palettes. It's a bulk fill. So that is the mod description fixed. Let's grab our 110. We're going to change Leatherworks to evaporator. And name of the factory. I like to pick for the evaporator. Yeah, well, thank you. A lot of times I'll just go to Google and I'll just keep searching and searching until I find something I like. We are going to produce sea salt. We are going to input, what's my first one? Coal. And we are going to input salt water. Right? No, yeah, salt water. So we're going to have to go down to the ocean and load our tanker. So coal and salt water. So that looks good. So now we take our XML, let's rename it. evaporator, and then we start reworking it. So evaporator there, here, and here, and this one has to be lowercase. And then our inputs are coal and salt water. So that's all fixed. Our hotspot so that's our hotspot fixed. Our save ID is going to be evaporator, and then these I can just do a replace. Alright, so that gets us part of the way fixed. Now let's look at our, we don't need a pallet trigger, so that can go. But we do have two input triggers, so I got to copy this one and paste it in, and then this one's we're gonna have 1 and 2. Now the first one, number 1 is coal, so let's rename this one coal, and then I can rename this one water. Alright, so there's our input triggers. I need an output trigger, so let's open up, let's go to the hollow map, let's go to placeables, global company. I want to open up the evaporator, because we're going to pretty much copy this XML. So I need this trigger. We're going to bring that trigger over to here, and that triggers, this is going to tell us where to pick up our salt. Alright, so our first input is going to be coal. 500,000 liters is good. Let's go coal. And then our input trigger is coal. And then we are going to input salt water. And then this one, I'm going to take up to 1,000,000 liters. And then our fill type is salt water. And it is trigger water. Alright, so those are our inputs done. Now we have to add we have a visibility node for our water. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to bring it over into here. We eliminated one of them, so one of these can go. And then we'll have to renumber it. So let's work on our planes. So our water is number 1, 2, 3. So our water is plane 5. So our water is plane 5, so that works. So now let's get our coordinates fixed. So let's grab our X, and wow, it's really close. Let's go Control V and Control V. Let's grab our Z. grab our high point, which is really high. I'm not liking this. And then let's see what our low point is. I have a feeling this factory's not going to spawn into the game right. So here's our low point. Is right there. Alright, so those are our inputs done. Now our output is just going to be, and I can steal the whole thing right from here. So let's bring that over to here. And then we can delete boots. And there is our sea salt. Now we have to fix our 4 planes. Let me come over here because we're going to have to drop this down at some point. Alright, so let's grab this coordinate. And it's going to go here and here. And then this one is going to go here and here. Our high point goes here. Actually, our high point is going to be the same on all of them. And then our low point is going to be this number. And it's going to be the same on all of them. So that's plane 1 fixed. Now plane 2, what number has changed? So this number is going to be the same all the way down. So let's replace this one. And then this one's going to be the same all the way down. And then I need this one here and here. And then all I have to do is change my Z on this one and this one. And then grab number 4, change this one and that one. So that should be our salt plains. Chef, hello! Thank you for stopping in, taking time out of your day and saying hello. I'm attempting to build the evaporator as a placeable, but I'm having a hard time with it coming to 0 and staying above the map. So once we get our XML fixed, I'm really hoping it's going to spawn into the game properly. It's giving me a real hard time. Alright, so our evaporator, I can grab all of this and bring it over to the new factory here. And then how many liters an hour are we making? We're making 20,000 liters an hour. So let's change that. And then I got to change the path here and fire. So that's into the new factory. And then we have to grab, let's grab our i3D mapping. Let's bring that over to this factory. And let's get our pathing in, so our pathing is correct, and then we'll see if this is going to spawn into the game properly. Alright, so our clear areas are now number 10, so all of these have to go to a 10. We are in the process of making every factory placeable that are currently built into the maps. So you'll have a placeable everything like Mammoth Mill, Glue Factory, Orchard, Greenhouse, you name it, and it's now going to be placeable. You can use it on all the maps except for Homestead. Alright, so those are fixed. Oh, we got one more up here. So this is a 10. That one's a 10. And that one's a 10. Because we need them for the new map. Because the new 16x map is going to be all place your own. Trigger icon is going to be number 9. So that's done. We have our planes are already fixed, so those are done. So the only thing we have to map now is what's down here. So we should have 0, 0, 0, and then 0, 1. So 0, 0, 0, 1, so they're the same. Our audio is now number 6. Our loading trigger shouldn't change. Yeah, so those are all good. Our camera is now number 7. Our player trigger is now number 8. We eliminated plane 6, so I can delete that one. So plane 1 should be, yep, so these are all the same, 3 and 0 to 3 and 4, so they didn't change. So that one's done. Alright, smoke 2 is 4, 1 and 0. Oh, because I reversed these. So fire should be 4, 0 and 0. And then we added, so controls, copy and paste. We added smoke 3 and 4. So you should be 420 and 430. And they are. We'll come back to the lighting in a second, but up here we have to add, let me copy this. We have to add smoke 3 and 4 since we added 2 more smokes to the factory. And now the only thing we now have to fix is our lighting. So our lighting, how many lights did we put in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to need 8 lights. So there's 4. That makes 6. And then that'll make 8. So let's get these renumbered. So it's going to be 5, 0, 1, and 0. So all of these are going to go to 5. First one is 5, 0, 1, and 0. Second one is going to be 5, 1, 1, 0. And then how does the pattern go from there? 5, 2. So let's go 5. So this will be 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so this one should be 5. 5, 5, 1, and 0, and it is. Now these last two are a little bit different because they're a different light. So it's going to be 5, 6, but it's going to be 0 and 1. So that's going to make this one 7, 0, and 1. Alright, so technically this should be our factory. Let me just go through the list, make sure we didn't miss anything. So our in is done, our out is done, our main transform is done, our planes are done, particle systems are done, lighting is done, sound is done, camera's done, our clear areas are not done. Alright, so our start here. So we're going to start our factory. So we are going to tell the factory to start spawning in right there on this corner. Our width is going to be this corner. And then our height should be this corner. And this way the game knows where to place the foundation for the factory when we buy it. Oh, come on, give me the point. There we go. So that's the factory going to spawn in. Hopefully. Alright, so now let's get rid of the plane. Save this. And close it. And then I'm going to make sure there's no weird texture pathing issues, and there's not. And then I open it one more time to make sure it opens with no errors. And it does, so we can close it. And I think all of our files are now fixed. So let me just go through the XML one more time, make sure I didn't miss anything. I did see something, hold on. Yeah, this got to go to 2. Alright. So we have our evaporator. Coal and salt water are in. So we're going to input our coal, we're going to input our salt water, we're going to output our sea salt. We have our coal, we have our salt water, we have our sea salt, we have our player trigger, our audio, our smoke, and our fire. I think we're good. This one I can close so I don't mess it up. Let's zip this up. Let's go to, let me open up, so that I can close. Let's go to my test map. Let's copy this and paste it into here and pray that it even spawns into the game. Alright, let's open up the test map and see what happens. So I should have 3 new factories to send to Dixie tonight for testing. So we should now have a store icon for our evaporator. We do. So tonight I'm going to send Dixie the textile mill, actually 4. The textile mill, the evaporator, the glue factory, and the drywall factory. Alright, So let's head back over here to where our big mess of, again, this whole map over here is a mess because this is all my test map. So I got stuff like everywhere. So this is Gorilla Glue. So we're going to need a little bit more space. I'm going to, wrong one. Let's get rid of some more field. So we have room to put these new factories down. And again, this is just my test map, so it's a mess. I don't mind it being a mess. I don't play on this. But let's make room to drop down the evaporator. If it doesn't fit in here, then I'll have to go over even a little bit further or into another field. Let's just get a clean spot to work on. And then if I have to, I can put it behind this factory. Or over in that next field. We'll just paint grass in that next field. Running out of room on my test map. I'll have to come in off camera one of these days and just paint all these fields in so I have a blank slate to work from. So let's give this a quick save. Alright, so let's come into the store and we should now have an evaporator. We do, and it's going to be a lot bigger than I thought it was. Yeah, it's going to be a lot bigger than I thought it was. Alright, let's go over here. Bam. Let me paint this field real quick. Let's just get rid of it. So we have a clean surface to work off of. I don't like spawning them on top of crops. Hopefully this will give us enough room. So I need all these factories to even test stuff on the new map as I'm building it. So we can't even test anything on the new map unless we have the factories to work with. Alright, so that should work. Do another quick save. And let's go back in here and buy the evaporator. Alright, let me spin. Let's get you over here close to the train tracks. And if it looks too big, we're going to have to go in and rebuild it. Make it smaller. Alright, let's go check and see, make sure nothing's floating. check our global company. So that looks good. So we're going to add our coal, our salt water. We're going to get our sea salt. I'm just going to check the log before we test the factory. Just want to make sure there's no blatant errors in the log. And there's no errors for the factory. So let's grab our 2 trucks that are over here somewhere. One for coal and one for salt water. So let's throw our salt water in here. I'm hoping this even holds salt water. It does. Alright. Let's go. Get hit by the train. But it's going on a 16x map, so that's what it's being built for. So I'm not going to be too concerned if the building's a little bit big. But they will be able to be used on the other maps. Oh, cool. So our water plane is working. So that's going to fill up. We never put our, oh, never mind. Our salt, our sea salt's bulk. I was going to say, I didn't put a liquid trigger in, but we don't need it. Alright, so that's that one. Well, I got a, let me find it. I've got another little dump truck over here somewhere, right here. So let's throw some coal in here. Alright, coal. So let's head over. So there's the placeable mammoth mill, if anybody hasn't seen it. We have the placeable drywall factory, so it's working. Come in here and drop off our coal. I heard the factory fire up. So let's, I'm just going to park you here a second. Now we should have fire and smoke. We do. So that's working. Did I park on the trigger? Of course I did. So our factory is active. So let's speed up a little bit of time. And we should now have sea salt. Let's make sure our trigger works. And we have our sea salt. Alright, so the evaporator I'm going to call done. Again, I know it's a little bit big, but it's mainly being built for the new 16x map, but it will work on Ritchieville, Hollow, and Islands. So if you want a second evaporator, you can throw one down. So the evaporator's done. The drywall factory placeable is done. The mammoth mill placeable is done. The glue factory placeable is done. The textile mill placeable is done. You guys already have the pie factory, and then we have the placeable refinery, so this is now done. Alright, so let's get out of here. Let's save this. Let's get out of here. This is a lot further than I was expecting to get today. I don't have anything else prepped. But that won't stop us. So let's check our log one more time. Alright, so there's no errors for the evaporator, so I'm going to close all of our folders that we don't need open. I'm going to, let me grab my to-do list and we'll see what's next. We'll start another factory. So, let me just make some notes for myself. So, textile is done. Evaporator is done. The glue factory is done and the drywall factory is done. So what do I want to start? So I can only go for about another half an hour. So we can start something, but we're definitely not going to have time to finish it. I don't have any other like simple, easy factories. So let's start with, let's grab either stone processing or the cement factory. So I'm going to take my temporary folder, I'm going to clear it. Let's go into, actually let's go to my placeable, let's go into the map first and we'll figure out which one we want to pull out. So let's go into the hollow map. Let's open that up. And we'll see what factory we want to work on. Tomorrow I want to dedicate a lot of time to the orchards and greenhouses. So even if we start like the cement factory and don't finish it today, I think stone processing is going to be easier than the cement factory. So let's find stone processing. Do I even have, yeah, we do have stone processing. So where is stone processing sitting on the map? All right, I know which one it is. All right, so we're going to go File. I'm going to export that whole file out to my temporary folder on my desktop. And we're going to go stone processing. We're going to pull the whole factory out of the map. And then I don't need the map open any longer. But we are going to keep the file open in case we need to pull any textures or sounds or anything out of it. So let's go in here. We're going to have to fix all these texture files before we can even try and open it. So I'm going to copy this into here. And then that I can delete. And now let's rename this just textures. So now we can come back in here and we can rename all of this textures. So that fixes our texture pathing. Our particle systems will fix in a minute. So we still have to fix our particle systems, but that can wait a minute. I do need to go back in here. I need to go all the way to the bottom, and I need to take this user attribute out because it's no longer running off of the map. Now, sometimes it opens and sometimes it crashes. Sometimes you can pull out of the map and sometimes you can't. And we got lucky, so this is going to open. So let's eliminate some of the stuff that I know we're not going to use. So I know we're not going to use, so we're not going to have trash, so these can get deleted. So those can get deleted because we're not going to have trash, we're not going to have sewage. So this can go. That'll clean up some extra texture files that we don't need. And I know it's the exact same building we were working with for the evaporator, but it is stone processing. Alright, so let's save that. Actually, let's get rid of the particle systems and then we'll fix them later. So let's just get them. Yeah, let's just get these right out of the factory. So let's save this. So now that we know we're going to work on stone processing, let me go into my placeable mod folder, and we're going to create a new folder. We're going to call it FS19 Richie Stone Processing. So now we're going to take this guy and we're going to go File. Now we're going to export it into my actual working folder. So my placeable mods, and you can see I've been working on like 40 factories. So stone processing. Stone processing. So you guys are going to be getting hit with a ton of factories over the next couple weeks. So let's get rid of that. So we can, now I don't even need my temporary folder. So now we can work off of the placeable folder. So stone processing. So there's a couple things we're going to have to fix first. So let's open up the XML. We're going to have to fix our sounds and our shaders. So shaders and sounds, let's copy those, put them in here, and then that folder we can delete. So our shader I can now fix. I don't like folders within folders, it causes lag. And then we need our filling machine and we need our fountain jet sounds. Sounds don't transfer over, so you have to pull them out manually. So which two did I need? Filling machine and fountain jet. So let's pull that one over. And let's pull over our fountain jet. If I even have that one in here, we do. So let's copy that sound over to the new factory. So now we can clean up this file and this file. So that fixes our i3D. So now it's clean. I'm going to create a new folder. For particle systems. And now I'm going to go into the glass factory. We're going to grab our smoke particle. And then we're going to export that into stone processing. And now I'm just going to grab the fire in case we need it. So let's go File, Export. Let's bring our fire over. So our particle system folder is now fixed. I'm going to pull up, let's go into the hollow map. I'm going to pull up my 110. So I want to look at all my inputs and outputs for stone processing. Alright, so here is our stone processing. And I keep a notebook next to me so I know what I like my inputs and outputs in a certain order, and I always work off of my notebook. So give me a second to copy this over to my notebook. So we are going to make, so my outputs are going to be lime, calcium carbonate, clean fill, limestone, gypsum. And on the placeables, I'm not doing sewage and trash. So our inputs are going to be stone, water, and diesel. So now that I know what my inputs and outputs are, it's easier for me to build the factory. So let's open this up. And we're not going to have to make hardly any changes to it. So let me get my plane, and hopefully it's going to line up like it didn't do it last time. And where's the heck is my plane? My plane again is way over there. Okay, so let's zero this one out and see if it lines up with my plane, and it's kind of sort of does. So we don't have to monkey around with this one too much. Let's just get it. Oh, yeah. So I'm moving the factory out. Let's get you over here. Let's get you turned to 0, and then we're going to have to again make this fit into the size of oh, wrong one. So now we make it fit into the plane, so we know where our factory is going to start and end when it spawns into the game. So let's make this a little bit smaller this way. So that's going to be the footprint for our factory. Alright, that works. So now, alright, so what do we have for in? Exact fill route 1 and exact fill route 2. So we are bringing in stone, water, and diesel. So our water and our diesel is going to go there. Our stone is going to go there. So the in is done. Out. So let's look at our out. We have our loading station. Should be under here, and it is. Trigger 2 I no longer need because we're not doing sewage, so that can get deleted. We have our planes for our different products, our lime and our gypsum and our calcium carbonate in that, so that's fixed. Our lighting, let's look at our lighting and make sure there's nothing weird. So I'm not even going to change the lighting, so lighting can stay like it is. We are going to need our particle systems. Now, I don't think I'm going to bring in fire, but we are going to bring in some smoke particles. So let's go File, Import. Let's import the smoke. And it's going to go here. And it's going to pop it right there for a second, but I got to rename it Smoke 2. And now we can adjust it. So we have our smoke coming out of our generator. And then let's throw, what do we have up top? Yeah, what the heck. Let's throw another one up here. So I can duplicate that. Pop it right here a second. I can rename it number 3. Now I can take it and I can move it to 0, 0, and 0, and then I can adjust it the way I want it. So that one goes to 90. So there's some smoke coming out of that one. Ooh. Oh yeah, all right, we're gonna do it. Let's go, let's make it smoke 4. And let's go here. And I'm gonna go really crazy. I don't even know if the smoke particle this big will work, but we'll find out when we go in game. Ah, so that's all the smoke I'm gonna mess with. Now let's grab, where's our player trigger? Our player trigger is where? I don't even see our player trigger. Okay, our player trigger's way there. It's off the footprint of the factory. So I can leave it there a second. I'm gonna go File, Import. I want to import in, I'm gonna import the leather factory back in. And I'm going to steal the icon and we're going to steal our clear areas so we can mark the 4 corners of our factory. And then I can delete the leather factory back out. So tour icon, let's put our global company, yeah, let's put our global company trigger right here. So let's move our player trigger. Let's move our player trigger over. And it can go to 0, so it's square. And it doesn't need to be that big, so it can go even smaller. So this will get us our global company trigger. And I think we are good. So that takes care of the factory itself is done. We have our sound file. We have our cameras done. Our in triggers are done. Our out triggers are done. Our planes are done. Lighting is done. Particle systems are done. Our tour icon is done. We have to define our factory. Alright, so our start is going to go here. Our width is going to come down here. Oh, come on. I clicked off of it. Our width is going to come over here. And then our height comes over here to this next corner. So you got to slide down to this corner. Alright. Oop, I went too far. Alright, hold on. Alright, so there's our 4 corners of our factory. I'm going to save this and close it because there's a couple more textures we got to come back here and fix. We have to put our icon textures in. So let's open up the textures there. I can go to any factory and I can grab this and this into here. And then we can fix this. And then we can fix this. Alright, and that should be all of our textures fixed. So when we open this back up, there shouldn't be any errors for textures. No error textures, no sound textures, no particle system errors. So we're good. So that is our factory. So we're going to have, we have 3 inputs. I want to pull up, before I start, I'm going to go into the hollow map. I'm going to go Placeables, Global Company. I want to find stone processing. So let's open this up. We're going to pretty much mimic this to set ours up for our factory. I just need to see how many different processing lines we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 6 processing lines. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back into here. I'm gonna go into the evaporator we just built. I'm gonna pull everything out that I need. So let's copy these into here. And then we can start rebuilding our factory here. So we're gonna need a store photo for stone processing. And I think there's already one built, but I'm not sure. Maybe not. We may have to build a new store photo for stone processing. Let's look in the common files. So let me go to signs and textures and see if I have stone processing here. And I don't. So now let me go to my textures folder and see if I have anything for stone processing. And we don't. So let me check textures 2 real quick and textures 3. I don't see anything for stone processing there. Let me check my last texture file. We have McDonald's ready for us when we're ready to rebuild McDonald's. So nothing for the store for... Let me go into my archives. Let me go to my external hard drive. I think we had a placeable one, so let me just go check Stone Crusher. Let me see what this one looks like. I can work with it. We can work with this one. So let's go, let me grab this. Actually, yeah, let me grab this. So let's copy, and was it this one? Yeah, it was this one. So let's copy and paste. So that gives us our background. So now let's go here. And we'll paste that one in. And then we'll just go, we're going to go back to our black texture. So let's go stone processing, but we're going to have to make you smaller. I don't like it. Hold on. I can live with that. Alright, so we're going to go, I think I just want to be sure. Let me go File, Save As. Stone Processing Store, yeah. So let's save that. So our store photo is taken care of. Next thing we fix is our mod description. So this is now going to be, let me check the time. I'm going to have to get out of here in about 15 minutes to help her finish dinner. Stone processing. It is going to make, let me grab my, this is why I write everything down in my notebook. We're going to make lime. I need two capitals. Calcium carbonate, clean fill, limestone, and gypsum. Our factory is going to be called Stone Processing. So our XML is going to be named Stone Processing. So this is our mod description XML fixed. Next on the list is the 110. So let's go search, let's replace Stone Processing. 1 to 2 replace. There we go. We can come back and do the first one. Alright, so that changes that. So it is Stone Processing. It produces, here we go again. It produces lime, calcium carbonate, clean fill, limestone, and gypsum. Input 1 is stone. Input 2 is water. And then we need an input 3. Input 3 is going to be diesel. Alright, so production line 1 is going to be lime. So this has to go to lime. And then how many more do we need? So we're going to have 6 total. So let's copy this one. And then let's go 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 2 is going to be, let's just copy these over. So 2 is going to be calcium carbonate, clean fill, next up is limestone, then we go to gypsum, and then last is the whole factory itself. Alright, so there's our stone processing 110. Alright, that looks good. So now we grab our evaporator, we rename it Stone Processing. And then let's edit that. So our evaporator is now Stone Processing. Our function is stone processing. My I3D is stone processing. So that takes care of those. Our inputs are stone, water, and diesel. So that takes care of that. Let's go up to 129,000. 929,000. I don't think so. 129,000 for the price. Evaporator. It's going to get changed. To stone processing, but this one needs to be a capital P. Alright, so there's our hot spot. Evaporator is stone processing for our save. And then all of this can just get replaced. Alright, so that gets us halfway fixed. How many? Now I can copy the one that's built into the factory. So we have first one is stone, second one is water. So let's make this one stone. So we have our stone and we have our water triggers, our input triggers. We still have our loading trigger, so we have our out trigger. So that's not going to change. So our first input is going to be stone and not coal. So this is going to go stone. Our fill type is going to be stone, but I want this factory is going to need to run like it never seen it tomorrow. So let's go 2 million input on the stone, and our input is going to be stone. This is one factor you're going to want to keep running. Alright, so that fixes the first one. Our second one is going to be water. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to overwrite this one. I'm going to make it input 2, and it is going to be water. Our input is going to be water. Our trigger is going to be water. Alright, and then our third input, so I can copy this one again. So we make this input number 3, and it is going to be diesel. Oop, that has to be all caps, hold on. And then our fill type is diesel. And it's going to go in the water trigger because our water and our diesel go in the same trigger. So inputs are done. Outputs are easy because we can copy those over. So we're going to copy over all of our outputs except for sewage and trash. So I want to go from here to here, and I'm going to copy those into our placeable. Alright, so we have our lime, our calcium carbonate, our clean fill, our limestone, and our gypsum. So those are our outs. So our outs are now taken care of. So now we have to build our production lines. So production line 1, we're going to make lime. So I'm going to grab these inputs and outputs, and I'm going to transfer them over to production line 1. So water, diesel, stone. It's going to make lime. I'm going to leave this whole mess here for now until I duplicate it. And then I'm going to delete all this extra stuff out of this particular line. So let's copy this. And let's paste it here. And now in line 1, I don't need the player trigger. And what does our old factory have? Nothing. So there's no operating parts in line 1. Alright, so line 1 I'm going to call done. So we're making our lime. So production, I'm going to actually, so let's look at the old factory. So production line 2, we have our particle systems and whatnot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here for now. I am going to take this production line and duplicate it a minute. Put it here. I'm going to call it number 2. Then we're going to come in here and we're going to grab everything from here. And we're going to move it over to our placeable factory. So this is our calcium carbonate. We deleted our spray, so I don't need those. So we'll leave smoke 2 here. So that is our calcium carbonate line. I'm going to duplicate this one again, pop it into here. We're going to call it production line 3. I'm going to go back to the old factory and we're going to grab our inputs and our outputs. We're going to move them over to our placeable factory. We don't have any operating parts for this one, so they can get deleted. And there's no trash and there's no sewage, so now we're making our clean fill. So production line 3 is done. Copy this one again. We're going to name it production line 4. And in production line 4, we're going to make limestone. So let's grab this, move it over to the new factory, and then we're going to eliminate trash and sewage. So we have our limestone. Alright, now I'm going to have to put a couple more. So let's do this. So what do we have? We have 2 more limes. One for gypsum. No, just one. Your clean fill. Yeah, so we have limestone. Your limestone. Oh, so we need limestone and gypsum. Yeah, which one are you? You are limestone. So I got to put smoke 3 and smoke 4 in. So let's grab this. Let's throw it here. And let's call it smoke 3. So that takes care of one more of our particle systems. I'm going to duplicate this again to here. And this is going to be number 5. So under limestone we have gypsum. So let's grab our inputs and our outputs. Now we've got to move them over to here. Yep, make sure I'm on the right one. So we're going to get rid of trash and sewage, and we're going to call this smoke 4. This is going to make our gypsum. So that should be our 5 production lines. And then production line 6 is the one that runs the global company menu, and it's always at 0. So now I just need to bring this over. To here. We're going to get rid of sewage, and we're going to get rid of trash. I need the player trigger. I have to move audio, so let's move our sound file up to, it doesn't matter which one, so let's put it in here. So there's our sound file. Now this whole mess can get deleted. So we're going to input our water, our diesel, and our stone. We're going to get lime, calcium carbonate, clean fill limestone, and gypsum. So that's our global company menu. I'm going to take, since we use the same building, I'm going to take our i3D mapping and I'm going to move it over to the new factory. And then we'll worry about lighting at the end. So we have our factory XML about half built. A couple more things we're going to have to change a little bit. But I have to get out of here for the night, unfortunately, so I'm going to save this. We will pick this up tomorrow morning. So I'm going to throw you all on ending soon. I have to help her finish dinner. And I'm going to get out of here for the night because it's been a long day. I've been up since about 4:30 this morning. We will finish this factory tomorrow, and we will start building excuse me, we will start building either the orchards or the greenhouses. So I am just going to exit and close all the stuff that I don't need open. I do have to get out of here for the night. I want to thank everybody for stopping in and saying hello. Farm Chick, good night. Chef, good night. Chef, thanks for the stream. You are more than welcome. So, what's left on the to-do list as in the way of placeable factories? We have 2 orchards, 2 greenhouses, slaughterhouse, poultry house, cement factory, dairy and mill, smokehouse, power cell production to build. That's just for what we need for that factory. Now let me grab my other list. Let me grab my other page of my notebook. I got like 3 notebooks sitting next to me, so bear with me. Then we still have to build the bakery, frozen foods factory, Nick's Hideaway, the ice cream factory, the sandwich factory, the sweet treats factory, and then a new surprise factory after we get the basics done. So we got, before I even get to working on the new map again, we got about 15 more factories to build. So I do want to thank everybody for stopping in. I do have to get out of here. I got to help her finish dinner, and I am going to call it a night.